Hi all, hope you're doing well. I'm Amanpreet, your host for today's webinar. From Woovly, we are a social commerce platform for tier 2, tier 3 cities in India. Join us for this webinar where we will dive deep into the live e-commerce, the various benefits, potential, and the impact it will have on the growing economy. We'll also be discussing the market data, prospects, and challenges for the same. We have got two reputed speakers for today's session. Dr. Mohit Bhatia, founder of Fuchsia and Physiowits. Dr. Mohit comes with over 11 years of experience with strategic development, medico marketing, and marketing research. And we have Subodh Sharma with 25 years of experience in operations and management. Subodh is the co founder of Pink Wolf, a men's grooming brand. Here's a warm welcome to the panel and for our speakers for today.
Thank you. Very good evening to all.
Thank you, Amanpreet, and good evening to everyone.
So here's a detailed look at understanding live commerce in the e-com world, the rising popularity of live commerce, how it impacts brand building, and how it would benefit your business as well. Hi, Subodh and Dr. Bhatia. I hope you're doing great and your day was good with work and everything.
Yeah, it's been great.
It's been great, Amanpreet, fighting the cold, fighting some of the logistic issues. So yeah, I mean, it's a perfect end to the Friday.
Great. So we will straight go to the topic. As we all know, we are here to discuss about the growing trend of live commerce in India. You both, Dr. Bhatia and Subodh, you both are into these e-commerce industry from a very long time. You know, in and out of the brand building and how it goes on. You know, the brand website, or maybe you're selling on any marketplace. This e-commerce industry has gone through a lot things, maybe ups and downs during COVID, post COVID, and we have seen a rapidly growing trend of live commerce in this industry. And majorly we all know it started from China, though. However, in India also it's picking up the pace and it's booming. Like right now everyone is on their phone shopping through video commerce or live commerce. So I want to put up my first question around that only. So what is the significance of live commerce in the context of Indian retail economy?
I think, Subodh, if you would like to go first.
Sure, I can do that. I think if you look at it traditionally, the Indian consumer, actually any consumer, is looking for an experiential way of buying. Touch and feel is very important to them. So
Right.
the 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we had a simple e-commerce, and now we are looking at the advent of the last 2-3 years of live e-commerce, and that's a significant step up, so to say. So in terms of significance, it is tremendous. It's bringing about the missing emotion quotient, that's being brought about now with the live e-commerce is what I feel. It's tremendous. Its impact is going to be huge, and this is just the beginning. So you have a lot of good things to come as well.
Right.
So, Subodh, as you said, you kind of picked up the nerve there. So it's the connect, the emotional connect of a shopper, the shopping experience in itself, which live commerce is bringing in. There's also a factor of, to a certain extent, reliability as well, of what you're getting when you are buying a particular product. So what happens on if you are buying through just a static post, or maybe on typical social media platform, not social media, I would say on an e-commerce platform per se, going to a website or going to a particular post and seeing, okay, this is a photograph I'm buying. The size, the dimensions, if we are talking about fashion, the fits, the look of it, that when explained on a video or a live commerce is much different from what you can judge from a photograph, of whatever means we could do. We can do a normal photo, we can do a high-end photography of, we can do a maybe a model-based photography, but what you'll be able to see through a video conversation or live commerce, when you see the actual product in hand, you can see the packaging of it, every element of that has a different connect with human psychology. It has a different connect with behavioral aspects, what we usually term in marketing. So, as far as significance is concerned, this is going to be significant to a large population. Second factor, which we say the generational mindset change of the amount of time we would want to spend on a particular aspect. The newer generation, I don't think they have that much time to focus on going through a post, reading the features and all. They are more about sticking to a platform, listening to whatever, and if they like it, it's a impulse purchase as well.
Right.
Yeah,
True.
so that's
Dr. Bhatia hit on the points very well. Trust and reliability. Earlier, we could see that they were driven by the platforms or marketplaces. But now I think with the video shopping and live e-commerce, trust and reliability have become huge, significant influencing factors for any shopper to decide the impulse buy. ये अच्छा लगा खरीद लो एकदम से. ठीक है, so there's a much better connect now that's available.
Right. I think very well said. I think you have picked up the very, the basic and the important points of live commerce. Like first is the human connect, the connection with the audience. If I'm talking, if I'm selling a lipstick, or if I'm selling a sweater or something, I can show the fit. I can show how it looks on my skin. Yeah, I can show how it feels, the texture. I can explain that to the consumer, and eventually it will lead to the impulse buying because I'm explaining that product very well. So definitely these 2 points, as Subodh and Dr. Bhatia, as you both have mentioned, that the connect with the audience, because definitely at the end a brand wants a loyal and a good consumer to come back to the brand and purchase actually the sales at the end.
True.
कि वो खरीदे हमसे.
Keep on buying.
Right. That's the end goal. The conversion is good. The customers is trusting on the brands, and that's the point that any brand that works on that base. कि हमें trust build करना है brand customer के साथ, and they just keep coming on to the brand because they trust us. So that's the first thing, like you mentioned, that the human touch, you can explain the product, and second is the there's no patience right now in this channel. So that if you are watching something, just ठीक है ले लो, इसने explain कर दिया, just buy.
Yeah.
Because right now going to the reviews, reading all the reviews, checking the products real में कैसा दिखता है, they have posted the photo. So that is the bit of a pain for this kind of in this time I can say, but yeah, I think that's the key points that you have mentioned.
True.
So moving on to the next question though, so it's more or less kind of a same thing that I'm going to ask, but related to the previous question, I can say. So what do you think, what is the potential of live commerce in India? Like we all know that China it started like a boom, that Alibaba launched it with a great event. The market is huge in China, but what is the potential of live commerce in India, and how can it be explored more?
I think that potential is still quite unexplored as of now in India, especially if we talk more about tier 2, tier 3 cities. The kind of population there is, the kind of connect they can have with live commerce is going to be much more reliable, more frequent with what they had with e-commerce platforms, because there was always an image of what is being shown, what are we getting, is it the actual product, is it coming from the brand itself or not. So there were a lot of queries in a consumer's mind, and we have had these queries, especially being a digital first brand. We have received these queries over and over again through various means. When we go on to live commerce, I think there is a direct connect from a brand's perspective as well as from a consumer's perspective, even through it's being done from a third party e-commerce site, or even if it's being done on Amazon itself. Tomorrow futuristically they would come into it. Sooner or later every platform is jumping onto it as well. What would happen is there will be features which will be much better explained. At the same time, there'll be a lot of queries the frequently asked questions from consumer side, which will be allayed. Those fears could be removed. Misconceptions, misguidances would be less. So it will impact in different ways. One, the adoption would be better. Second, the doubts would be lesser. At the same time, with all these things happening, this will become more, and India is becoming more and more tech savvy. So we could say that in our earlier generation, they were not very frequent with phones earlier, but with Paytm, UPI's adoption, we have seen e-commerce adoption, we have seen quick commerce pick up pace
Right.
in now tier 2, tier
Yeah.
3 cities. Similarly, this is going to be a huge, huge adoption cycle. And the more awareness we can create around it is, I think, what will pick up the pace from there.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
No, very well said, Dr. Bhatia. I mean, Anpit, it's a question of, is the dog wagging the tail or the tail wagging the dog? I think in this case, so the point is, a very small percentage of people identified live e-commerce as a huge opportunity
Mhm.
a couple of years ago,
Right.
and they went out and became the trendsetters. Okay.
Mhm.
Now you've got the bigger marketplaces, bigger platforms as well, who are now going to try and play catch up to the smaller firms who are, hugely using live e-commerce to penetrate the market. In
Mhm.
terms of potential, as Dr. Bhatia said, I think it is still unexplored. It definitely is a huge factor in terms of how many people we have on using phones, using data, etc., etc.
Mhm.
But that percentage, we are still struggling to get e-commerce as a trusted entity out to all the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities and villages and everything. So on top of that, you got live e-commerce as well, which is still catching up, right? So potential is huge. I think it's totally unmatched. Pretty soon, you will have the bigger marketplaces, the bigger platforms also advertising and using live e-commerce as one of the sales tool, and
Mhm.
that's going to benefit a lot of people, including both of us. All of us.
Yes, 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 definitely. So I think very well said, because as you mentioned about the this e-commerce industry who are already using this live
Right.
the commerce and live tools. Definitely, we can talk about like this big e-commerce like Amazon and Myntra. They have already started it and
Yeah.
using it, monetizing it. We all know, right? Nika is already doing it. They are going live and talking about the products. They are showing looks. They are Myntra is showing the fits. They are using n number of influencers. They have their own set of own in-house influencers also. So
Mhm.
there's a huge potential to it. There's a huge market to it. The small brands, there's a huge scope and opportunity for the smaller brands to pick it up
Sure.
once you're right, once it's go, once you start exploring it. Definitely, like Dr. Bhatia and you said, that it's still unexplored, but yes, there's a huge opportunity for smaller brands to grab the opportunity and try to just go with the flow for this live commerce uh, thing. So and if I'm not wrong, I've read somewhere that this live commerce in China, it is somewhere around 160 dollar billion industry, but in India also in going coming years, it's going to be somewhere around $5 billion company in next 2 to 3 years.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, there was one statistic that I'd come across that, 2 years ago, I think we only had about 5,000 views. And
Mhm.
today that number is sitting at about 50,000 plus views. Already we have seen a 10x growth in 2 years.
Mhm.
As the volume of influencers, the live e-commerce and the players and the brands, everybody starts adopting it. This view is just going to keep going north. To an
True. And I'll also which is rising up. And I think with that set of
Right.
factor coming in with influencers adopting brands, having collaborations, developing. So we've seen various products being developed for a particular association or collaboration itself. which could be limited editions and all that, the adoption of live commerce would be much, much more. Uh,
Right.
that factor would rope in into much bigger numbers. So, as we're saying, we're expecting it to be a $5 billion industry, and considering our population and our adoption cycles, maybe we're looking at still a smaller number. And it would be way, way beyond this $5 billion number as well.
Right. Yes. Definitely yes. Because it's we have that after China we can say that India is following that steps only. Whatever there is in China, we are following that steps. There was e-commerce, there is e-commerce, there live commerce. We are following live commerce. We are doing everything around that. But
Yep.
definitely the Indian consumer, they are too much into it. If they like something, they are on it. So it's just gonna maybe boom like something in coming years, but definitely this is the future, we can say.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'll quickly check if we have some questions from the viewers. Right now everyone is just saying hi to both of you and to me. So hi everyone, hope you're enjoying this webinar, and we can move to the next question.
Sure.
Okay. So, like we were talking about the influencers, we were talking about how this influencer, and the creator industry is helping, and maybe they are just there to, showcase the products and collaborating with brands. So, what do you think? How does this social media contributes to provide a significant boost to live shopping? Because we all know that the social media is the key where brands are focusing on their brand marketing, not only the sales, but they're building a brand trust among the consumers. But how social media contributes to the live shopping?
Dr. Bhatia?
So I'll go on. It's a thing I have been doing for a while now, and I love talking about this aspect of the perspective, because I am all guns on a direct connect between the brands to the audience, and I think social media is the platform where you can do so. We can have various means, and not only social media. There are people connections through WhatsApp communities as well. We have Telegram, those kind of connects as well. But social media is a more global approach to it. Then you already have people spending time already on these mediums, talking about X number of topics to Y number of people. And that's where the community centric approach is much, much bigger. We have seen that especially with both our brands, whether be it Fuchsia in skincare or Physiovits in terms of our nutraceutical space. It's not only being used by brands in terms of sales, in terms of connecting to the consumers. I think it's a much, much bigger awareness generation happening there as well.
Right.
Especially more so with the, I would say, our kind of approach, where we went into a lot of newer ingredients which people were not aware of at the time when we launched them. So market creation in itself happened there. We today have spent around 10, 11 years of our existence, and we are still relevant, and we are being present in this industry because we went there. We are not a typical, I would say, funded startup with investing huge numbers on performance marketing. We have rather gone very specific on creating awareness, sharing that information. We have seen a lot of good, bigger brands doing that. So, the whole truth story is all about this: how they went in, the kind of information they shared, how they were able to pass that message to more and more number of people. And I think now this will become even more so, because the ease of technology which is coming with live commerce, the more we start adopting it, it will become more convenient as well. So it will be much easier for us to say what we feel. It will be much easier for us to be transparent. Right? At the same time, be more responsible as well as a brand marketer, because social media is a platform where there is always a cross check.
Right.
If you're saying an X thing, there are 10 number of people who will be coming at you with all guns firing if you say a
Yes.
particular aspect which is not taken well.
Right.
So I think it's a good means, it's a good
Mhm.
medium to the end. It's all about how you use it.
Right, right, right. Definitely, very well said. Social media, we can use it in various way, but A, are you using it in a right way? B, are you targeting the right audience? And there is an number of things that you need to follow. But definitely, social media is the thing, like you mentioned. So, both any points on that?
Now, I think Dr. Bhatia has very well eloquently put it, but I would say, look, we've had I've got an honest admission to make. We've had a kind of a love and hate relationship with social media. We love it because it's social. It's not that expensive as compared to, let's say, putting up a billboard in Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium or somewhere, and paying lakhs and lakhs of rupees, right?
Right.
We hate it because it is it goes in any direction, and compared to many of our products have a specific need and a specific application. So
Mhm.
to generalize it becomes very difficult, for us to communicate to the customers. So
Right.
our means of communication definitely have gone up from we have used written letters to the customers. We have also used personalized emails and phone calls, etc. And now we've graduated to social media.
Mhm.
But as Dr. Bhatia mentioned, we haven't been. Honestly, that's somewhat our fault. We know the potential is huge in using social media for live e-commerce, okay, and to communicate with the customers. We haven't leveraged it as well as we think we should have. Okay,
Okay.
but the answer to the question is it huge? Yes. Can it increase trust and reliability? Oh, definitely yes.
I think, as you mentioned, the love-hate relationship with Pink Wolf, I would say, with the
Right.
social media. I think it's the time for you to go and explore it with
Yep.
the correct host for your product who knows Pink Wolf in and out,
Right.
who knows the brand fundamentals, how brand want to showcase the product, what is the the science behind the product, basically how
True.
it's been made, what are the ingredients, how you can use it. I think this is the approach we should, like, not only for the Pinkful, for the any brand, I would say the basic things. As a consumer, if I'm a customer of a brand and I'm buying a lipstick or I'm buying anything, a blusher or a cream, I would to know I would like to know the science behind it, like what are the ingredients you have used, how you
Sure.
made it, will it suit my skin or not, how to use it, if there's some complicated product, how to use it. So this live commerce or a video commerce, we can say, explains the product to the consumer, and at the end, sales,
Yeah.
right? I like the
Absolutely.
product, I purchase it. So definitely, like you both mentioned, huge potential. And I think we have the audience. I must have gotten the answer. Till now, we have highs, and for the webinar, there are no questions so far from the audience today.
Okay.
And I think we can move to the last question for the evening. Before that, I just want to put up my personal question, as we have talked a lot about social media, a lot about influencers. So I asked this question to every founder and the senior members of the company. So I would like to ask this question to you both as well. So what do you think a perfect host for a live commerce, a live stream, is good, an influencer who is there with a number of followers, or a host जिसका followers range is not good, but he's a good at speaking, he knows the product in and out.
My thought
So,
might be,
Subodh,
go ahead.
no,
No, no,
please,
no.
please, Subodh, move ahead.
Um,
I'm sorry for
sure.
bringing.
My thought might be contrarian. I believe a subject matter expert, a person who knows the ins and out of the product, does a much better job
Mhm.
than an influencer who is with the product only for a few days or minutes or something. That's what I
Mhm.
feel. The audience drives a lot more confidence from a
Mhm.
person who knows the topic. who can describe very well why a shaving brush has 28 millimeters of knot versus a 25 millimeter, what's the difference, how to make good lather with shaving soap, and so on. So that's a specific kind of nature, an influencer may not be able to do justice to the extent that the brand expects him or her to do. That's
Right.
what
Dr. Mohit.
So I have a similar line of thought with what Subodh said, that there's nobody better than a subject matter expert or somebody from the founding team or somebody from the core team coming and talking about the products for 3 or 4 reasons. One, of course, the subject matter expert, as we said, as the first thing. Second, the passion with which they can explain or they can share that information,
Right.
that is visible in their approach. They would own the brand, they would own the product, and they would have that level of confidence of sharing. But given that, there is always a very good approach, which personally we have felt that if we can have a joint approach where we meet them somewhere midway, or maybe do a session as a collaborative effect where the influencer talks about the field per se, they talk about and they get the subject matter expert to come and talk about it on their platform. So they utilize that platform. And then if they've actually liked the product, they go live and they say that, okay, I personally believe in it and we've done it. Now, I would like to quote an example here. So one of our products, which we launched last year in 2023 in May, was our omega-based and other antioxidants combined based night cream. And this product was developed with 7-8 months of R&D. And during R&D itself, we had a tie-up with one of the influencer, you could say. I would not say influencer. For us, she was a fashion expert. She had been Mrs. Punjab, an actor in Punjab industry, TV industry. She's a model in a lot of national and international campaigns. So she was on board with us from the formulation of the product itself. And throughout that journey of that 9-10 months, she kept talking about it on her platform. She kept talking about it on our platform as well, that, okay, we are developing something and what kind of impacts are we looking at. The whole process of launch to taking it to consumers was with her. So all our videos, everything was joint. We used only her pictures for that. So that kind of ownership for a year to as a project, and we've seen that happening in 2-3 of our different alignments, was very good. So it was her audience base along with our brand loyal audience base. Both of them combined talking about an X product for a good number of time. It was not just that, okay, there's an influencer coming in, there is a particular association, either in terms of financial or in terms of kind or even in terms of certain other aspects of business. It was not so. It was actually on ownership of that particular product for a certain period of time.
Right. So I think this is a great example. I have never heard of this.
No, absolutely.
So, Dr. Bhatia, I think this is the great thing to learn it from the. That's why I asked this question to everyone to know what kind of new ideas we can indulge in this thing. And this is the great thing because she was there, like you mentioned, she was there through the R&D, so she knows product in and out, and the audience was there throughout the journey of the product with you.
And the best part is because she was there in R&D, but the level of confidence which we could imbibe in her when she actually went and talked to her audience was way better than what we had seen earlier with giving a few influencers to live it through a month or two, maybe use 2-3 bottles and then come and talk about the product. It's very different from if she has seen the process.
Right.
She almost became a subject matter expert by the time 6 months passed by.
Exactly. So then even if we were not there, nobody from our team was there, and she is talking about that product on X platform, it becomes as authentic as we would have done it ourselves.
True.
Right,
I mean, you have so much of confidence in her ability to explain the product You don't need to be there along with her. I mean, honestly, Dr. Bhatia, hats off to you. That's a brilliant idea.
Yes, yes, yes.
I would say hats off to our team who came up with that whole plan.
Uh,
We had an inclination to do something differentiated with an influencer
okay.
to begin as an idea. And we were evaluating maybe going for a celebrity endorsement, maybe going in for a particular sector, or maybe going on to a particular platform and giving exclusivity, because this product, what we were talking about, it's unique in Indian market.
Okay.
Mhm.
No Indian company as such has 5 antioxidants in a single cream, even after a year of our launch.
Yeah.
So that's a advantage we had. We wanted to do
Mhm.
something because it was a huge aspect for us, and it did pay off well. I would say that kind of things, small
Mhm.
differentiated aspects, pay off well.
I think it's a great learning though, because she was not there for just the sake of just selling or posting it. She was there because she was there for throughout the R&D and the process of the product. Like Subodh said, she become the expert of that
Yeah.
particular product. Well, it's a great thing. I've learned this thing, and I think sometime maybe we can also do that. It's a great thing to learn. So we can move to the last question for this webinar. So this is like, what are the prospects of live commerce? How it's you can gamify it, or what are the prospects we can include and do the live commerce?
So, both, why don't you
Um,
take it up and I'll have some
uh,
closing remarks on this?
I mean, it's a question of where do you stop creativity? Because
Hmm.
live e-commerce, the way it's going, it started off with very simple videos, small snippets of videos, right? But pretty soon, I think every distribution channel that we have available, whether it's WhatsApp, Telegram, they're the traditional ones.
Mhm.
But beyond that, it could evolve into something much bigger. I mean, I can't, for the life of me, I can't think of other distribution channels, besides the normal ones.
Mhm.
It will definitely evolve into something much bigger. What it could be, I mean, videos will remain all the time. We will have websites, marketplaces, platforms, social media channels, etc. But जो आपने बोला कि gaming के बारे में, that's an area I have never thought about. Can social media be done through e-commerce, be live e-commerce be done through gaming or something?
Mhm.
Similarly, there could be other things as well. It's just a matter of somebody is smart enough thinking and sitting in some corner right now and planning the next big thing.
And that there's endless possibilities there. You could have limited edition auctions going live. You could have brands doing the sort of collaboration we were talking earlier, an X model, an X particular product for her skin, or maybe a lip tint
Yeah,
which is very specific niche to her taste, and that being sold only in limited quantities. We can also have gamifications around different approaches. We can have an omni-channel kind of experience as well. There's somebody who's live in a mall talking about a product, and at the same time a live commerce happening parallelly through a
Mhm.
channel with a tie-up. So a single medium being used for both the sales,
yeah.
Right.
and that kind of integrations would be happening. So as Subodh said rightly, there's somebody smart enough sitting and already thinking about various ways and means of how to explore it further. And the possible, and
Example,
then
Amanji, sorry to cut in.
no,
Example,
no, no,
मैं
please
इसको
go.
देता हूँ. I'm already thinking of a beard range, and we will involve Dr. Bhatia from the day one.
Yes,
ठीक है
yes.
ना? So I mean,
Be a good,
3 months.
good. Good.
So I mean, these kind of collaborations, ideas, innovations. I mean, endless, absolutely endless. Sorry, Dr. Bhatia, please carry on.
No, no, no. So what I was saying was it could give a lot of opportunities for targeted approach as well.
Yeah.
So while we have talked about going vast, going wide, at the same time, on a reverse cycle, if we want something niche to happen, we want something exclusive to happen, we want something much targeted for a targeted audience, specific age group, that kind of possibilities would also increase in coming times. So that's one approach people might start thinking on an different alignment of getting onto specific causes.
Right.
Because
Right. So, both you have mentioned the correct points of this, live commerce of, how to gamify it, how to, just make it more interesting for the audience. So we have, I also have some examples of this, like selling online on any, social media, doing live commerce, doing live streaming though, and गिविंग द डिस्काउंट देन एंड देयर. ये प्रोडक्ट मैं दिखा रही हूँ, अगर आप इसे अभी बाय करोगे you'll get it straight 50% off. I'll gamify it. अच्छा, आप मुझे बताओ कि आपको क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम है, मैं वही प्रोडक्ट नेक्स्ट टाइम लेके आऊंगी. I'll give you 40% off. So to attract more audience, to attract more consumers to that particular brand, or maybe just building brand trust कि एक बार अच्छे प्रोडक्ट थोड़ा डिस्काउंट में देके देखो, so you'll get something to show and talk about the giving discounts, maybe doing a Q&A session with the audience, and who will answer it right, a gift will be sent to him or her, something like that. So definitely we can gamify it, but there's a huge potential to all the live commerce industry. And here's we comes to the end of this webinar, and it was great connecting with you both, as we have discussed a lot about live commerce, e-commerce industry. I think live commerce is the future, and it's really bright. I can say it's already there in India, and I think brands are adapting it, and hopefully Subodh and Dr. Bhatia, your brand will be adapting it super sooner in the near future, and you will be getting a lot out of it. I can totally see it. So as Dr. Bhatia has already done it with a moral, with an actor, and Subodh, you are already thinking of doing something with Dr. Bhatia. I see this live commerce is picking up a pace, and very what ends it बहुत तेजी से, and it's a huge potential, as you both mentioned on during the webinar about how to use it, how the potentials of the webinar, the social media, the influencer marketing, everything. And it was a great learning, and it was lovely having you both with us. I hope to connect with you in the near future as well, and maybe we can talk more about it.
Absolutely. All of you have a wonderful Friday, weekend, and a smashing 2024. Thank you so much for hosting us.
It's been a pleasure. I would say thanks to the entire team of Woovly, as well as BUMT, for first bringing us here onto the same platform. Subodh, it's been a lovely catch up.
With you too. Absolutely.
I'll make sure we catch up face to face.
Maybe
January itself somewhere.
Zero.
Thank you so much, Subodh, and thank you so much, Dr. Bhatia. Happy New Year, and have a great weekend.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.